Time to bring on board Sanjiv Bhasin joining in on the show. And Sanjiv, I think I can't help but ask about Reliance Industries. What a mover, hitting all-time highs yesterday. What did you make of that? Do you think that it's on track for further outperformance? There's more value unlocking on the cards?
Well, good morning, Awan. And, it puts to rest everyone's worry about the market not doing anything, the big boys not moving. Yesterday, it was all about Reliance and ICICI. So, like I said, give the market some space, let it consolidate. We've had such a sharp move. Mid caps are seeing some consolidation, large cap, but it's about time the large caps move. By the way, the Japanese Nikkei has hit a 34-year high. It's up 1600 points in 3 days. And he's telling me that, what was past and behind is now coming to fore. And I think Reliance is just starting a move. So 3,000 very much on the cards, 22,000 very much on the cards, 50,000 on Bank Nifty very much on the cards as Reliance, HDFC gather stream. And now you play on the indices rather than the mid-cap space. I think the indices have more steam than anything else right now.
Okay, fair enough. That's the view coming in on the overall market as well as RIL. And then there were reports coming in on the entire NBFC space, pretty positive for the likes of Shriram Finance. But across the board, what's your sense when it comes to an M&M Finance, Shriram Finance, given that two brokerages have given the thumbs up to Shriram?
Well, Shriram has been a clear outperformer on the back that in the second-hand market, they have only gathered steam. And you know that the delay in, the car supply because of logistic and semiconductor, it meant that the second-hand market was raring to go. Shriram Finance is one of the largest lenders there, and they've only gained market share across the board. It's an expensive stock. It has run up a lot, but it still be an outperformer. I would put my money on LIC Housing. I think as a mortgage lender, it went through a lot of underperformance. But now that underperformance is turning out to be outperformance. So I would say LIC Housing is one stock which I think in the NBFC stroke mortgage space is looking very, very attractive. I've already spoken about DCB Bank. DCB Bank is another, it's not an NBFC, it's a bank which is really changed its module of lending. And what L&T Finance is now gaining market share, DCB is already in those businesses of auto, agri and gold loan. And I think this stock, after so many years of consolidation, is looking very good at not even one-time price to book. So I have a target of 250 in DCB Bank. I think it could be the small mid-cap bank or NBFC stroke financial outperformer in 2024.
Bhasin Saab, how would you address Polycab? Unusual. 1,000 crore रुपया cash मिला. Right, wrong, I'm not getting into that. I'm simply putting facts on the table. It's an expensive stock. It's a stock which was commanding a high premium because of growth and because of comfort from management. When you see a news like this, it will have impact on the stock.
Good morning. Definitely, Nikunj, corporate governance has to be of the highest standard, irrespective of the business or the module or the wealth creation. But, such things definitely will not be cannot be kept under the carpet. And I think they will have to come out with a large part of disclosure. Now, I am not privy to what has actually happened, and it would be wrong on my part to comment. But I definitely think that corporate governance at 22,000 has to be the key. So be watchful of, that is why we are saying certain mid caps have also made a lot of noise. Be watchful of the actual facts. And that is what we are saying, be overweight on the index because you have enough large caps there which have cushion of corporate governance, visibility, transferability, and everything which keeps you participating and where, market will again reward you over time. This Polycab thing, I think I will reserve my opinions as the case plays out because it is involving the tax department, but it will definitely sour the sentiment on some of the large cap, mid caps, which have been huge outperformers.
Okay, let's shift gears and talk about IT. Now let's look at the positioning of IT. IT is one sector where expectations are just not there. It is the only sector where everybody is expecting a sequential decline. It's a sector where general view is that AI is going to be disruptive. It's a general sector where 2024, nobody is expecting any big change in terms of IT outsourcing or IT spending. That's the backdrop for IT. Now, when there is gloom and doom and little expectations, little bit of trajectory change also can really make a lot of difference. You know, I have realized over the years that I used to always think, Bhasin Saab, that IT companies are a structural businesses which you can predict. But sometimes they are more volatile than even predicting commodity cycles. Look at 2021. We all thought that the world will become digital. IT companies were, in a sense, growing at a rate which was hard for even best of the bulls to imagine. Come 2022, realization comes in, and in 2023, rather than markups, we saw only markdowns. I mean, in 18 months, IT companies have seen a boom and a drop.
Correct, Nikunj, and it's very difficult if you have to, predict the trajectory. You rightly said, COVID became the biggest benchmark because home working, reduction in cost, plus digitalization all added to revenues like never before. And then you suddenly had the Ukraine crisis, escalation in oil, inflation going through the roof, disruption in semiconductors, interest rate, 11 hikes. And all that meant that IT stocks, it's just mimicking the Nasdaq, which after a huge run up fell almost 50%, is back 70%. So trajectory plotting is very difficult. Only thing is that this is a business which is universal for India. Outsourcing is a very big theme. Cash rich companies which have diversified the model and which are nimble footed. I think now with ease in inflation, ease in US soft landing, all that bodes well for the large cap. So stay with the best of the best, and we continue HCL Tech, Wipro, Persistent, Coforge, LTTS. These have a very, very good pipeline business. And by the way, Nikunj, actually, mid-cap IT has far outperformed the large-cap stocks. And now the valuation comfort is more on some of the large-cap players.
Okay, fair enough. That's the view coming in on the entire IT basket. Meantime, let's also get in a take then, Sanjiv, from you as to what the outlook is when it comes to Zomato. Pretty interesting notes coming in this morning that that the long-term view continues to remain very constructive. Earning upgrades are expected. What's your sense on how the stock has panned out? It's been pretty healthy, but at 135.
So I'll give you a little ground reality. Like I told you, my son's restaurant in Gurgaon has Zomato, which was making 25% margin, and 2.5 years back he was not making money, but so I invested half of the capital in Zomato, and that has made more money. But now he tells me that Swiggy is doing extremely well. I'm just giving a brief. Swiggy is getting very, very competitive. It is giving much more bang for the buck, and he is very, very happy with the new change of business with Swiggy. So I think both these businesses are, it's a duopoly. I think there is enough room for them to grow. They have been innovative in their AI and other approaches. There is even talk of drones being used now in order dispatches and so on. So, fintech and this food is doing extremely well. We have it in our portfolio, and we continue to be very bullish. But, Avan, I also want to reiterate my bullish stance on Paytm and PB Fintech. I think these are two quality fintechs which must be in your portfolio. Irrespective of the price, the business model is super.
Nuresh, you hear Nuresh and I get a smile. That's what I like about it. Nuresh, see, we forced you to smile every time I call out your name.
Yeah.
What a great year it's been, Nuresh. See, हम आपको हंसा देते हैं सुबह सुबह, और I'm sure our viewers are also smiling because they see you smile and they get your stock ideas, right, Nuresh?
Hopefully.
Nuresh, Vedanta, pure technicals here. Breakout yesterday, high beta. Forget what the news and what the debt issues are. For a trader, is there money to be made in Vedanta? Could Vedanta do what Reliance did yesterday today?
So a very interesting chart and price action yesterday. So yesterday the stock had a gap down, recovered well, and closed very well, almost towards the high of the day. Now, if you look at the last time it saw a gap down, before that it was around 270-75 levels. Then over the last 2 weeks, there have been 2 attempts around the 270 mark. So if it can sustain about 270, it could surprise on the way up. And the stock chart gets distorted by the fact that it has given huge dividends. So on a dividend adjusted basis, also 270-75 is a major breakout. So technically positive, looking at it as a trade in the short term. And say the risk reward is good. Given the high beta nature of the stock, one would keep a stop loss below 255. And if this moves out, it could go all the way towards 300, 320.
NBFCs, Bhasin Saab, there are two notes in my hand, one from BofA ML, the other one is from Jefferies. They feel that interest rates have peaked out and time to revisit NBFCs. Is it a good idea? Sell your PSU banks and buy NBFCs, the big ones?
Well, I would say take it with a glass half full, because you must add some of the NBFCs or the small medium banks which are doing well. And yes, PSU mid cap banks, but I still think State Bank has way to go. This quarter numbers will be very superb. Last year, State Bank did a net profit of for FY23 of 50,000. This year it is 63,000 in FY24, and next year it will be close to 80,000 crore. So you cannot miss the large cap giant of SBI not doing. I think SBI is still the most undervalued stock in the entire banking pack. At 1.9 time, a balance sheet of 52 lakh crore and a housing loan book of 8.5 lakh crore. I would still with State Bank. LIC Housing and AB Capital are two stocks in the NBFC space which are in our portfolio, and we think they can be outperformers. And DCB Bank, that is our small cap dark horse, which can be a huge outperformer this year.
All right. Thanks so much then for taking time out and joining in. Good to have you on board, Sanjiv, as always.